Good morning, nerds, and welcome to another episode of Tethered by the Table. My name is Nathan, a forever DM by choice. No, really, I'm scared of tracking spell slots.
Hi guys. Sorry about everything. Communication turned out to be the big bad this morning. But usually we will be streaming at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. We are just an hour behind thanks to good old daylight savings. But I'm Megan, by the way, and I'm glad you're with us this morning.
Definitely. Now, we're going to jump straight into it since we are a little bit late. But of course, if the coffee hasn't hit in yet and you fall back asleep or you just can't stand to look at us, don't worry. The recording of this session, as well as an audio-only version, will be posted on our YouTube channel the following Friday. And you can find our channel by searching "Tethered by the Table" on YouTube or following the link in our bio. Now, Megan, can you tell us what we did last session?
Yes, okay. So after the fire at Gatra Realm's brothel, we tracked our way to Dr. Nicholas Jekka's place of residence. So that was where the body was supposed to be. And so when we arrived there, Toll and I, we found that not only was there one body, but there were two bodies. One body was obviously dead, the other one was not quite dead. Unfortunately for him, he was assaulted by Toll, and he was fully aware of it. But so turns out someone sent, I believe, a revenant to attack Dr. Nicholas Jekka, and he ended up paralyzed. So we found the body of the viceroy, Kel Patinal, I believe his name is. Yes. And he was examining the body. We looked at the body. There were some abnormal bite marks on him. One bite mark that Dr. Nicholas Jeka actually recognized, but he said it was impossible because that person is actually dead. But it would turn out that it would seem to be that this person could be an undead, may not be dead, but he is back and attacked Kel Patinal. And we really didn't learn much. We were able to unparalyze Dr. Nicholas Jeka, and he shared with us that, his son was killed and his wife was killed, most likely because they were tieflings. But that was about it. He doesn't know who attacked him. He doesn't know really why Kel Patinol was killed. But he did say that it seems like there's some necromancy magic.
We're going back and forth on that one too.
Yeah. In the works during this. And so after that, I took my leave after a long night, and it's now early morning, and we're just trying to figure out, there's a couple of different places we could head, but that's where we ended up
Excellent.
closing
Well,
off.
I think that was, I always feel like I'm testing you whenever I do that, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm not the one talking a bill in the entire session. But I think that was an absolutely stellar, um,
Thanks.
I guess, history check when it comes to what we were looking at last session. So, in that case, then, you said you had lots of leads. What lead are you looking to follow today?
All right, let's see. I should have thought about this. Okay, I think I'm gonna go to Gatra Relum.
All
I'm
right,
gonna head back to the brothel and tell him what had transpired.
perfect. So, after leaving Nicholas Jekka's house and kind of,
Oh, sorry.
oh yes,
Before I do that, I'm going to since it's been at least a day that I haven't slept. I'm going to do magical cunning. I'm going. It's a. It's just a little warlock rite, esoteric rite for a minute. It will help me regain one expended pack magic spell slot. So
excellent.
I'm
Okay,
gonna do that.
perfect. Okay, and then you are headed. So you do your little magic spell. I'm trying to figure out. where it is on your character sheet so I can at least see what it looks like. Oh, I see. Okay.
Like one of my
Magical
actions. Yeah.
cunning. Once for a long rest. Heck yeah. Do you have any, is there any flavor you want to add with the esoteric rite for 1 minute, or you just pop a quick pop a quick magical cunning in the alleyway and then you're off?
It's it's like a little meditation,
I
you
get you.
know. My eyes are closed, my hands are like this.
Oh, I get you.
And yeah, there's some humming.
Perfect.
Yep.
So you find a little kind of nook and cranny in the alley, I guess, near where you're at, and do a quick esoteric rite, regain a spell slot, and or a pack magic. That's what it was, a pack magic,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
you are yes.
and sorry, and Toll runs around my hands. Feel
Amazing.
like he's helping.
Okay, I like it. I like it. All right, and you are headed off to where Gatriar Realm is located. Now, you navigate yourself back to the brothel. I mean, it technically has only been like an hour or two since you've like left
Oh
Gatriar.
wow.
I'm trying to think of how long you were at the. Well, I mean, how long is your spell your little like meditation is 1 minute. How long would you say you would have been at Nicholas Jeka's?
I would say, let's see. Okay, we left the brothel. Like, was it night? It was kind of nighttime, right?
Yeah,
Was it middle of the night? Or yeah. Well, I'd say it was like it's going on dawn.
perfect.
So several hours.
Several hours. Okay, I dig it. I can get down with that. So you head back to the brothel. The sun is beginning to shine above the city of Suli Califerun, and as you kind of approach where the brothel was, you see, I mean, smoke stains above windows. The building itself is kind of like is moist. You can see actually a couple of like wizards or kind of magically inept people using like kind of like create water spells or like move water spells, and like they're it's like the the high fantasy equivalent of firefighters going through and kind of searching the rubble, making sure that there's no other kind of things lit or the fire is gone, and you see Gatria Relum, who's standing kind of next to the front door of um, his his brothel, surrounded by like two or three enforcers who are like taking like little notes and everything about like kind of getting trying to get a story from Gatriar. And as Gatriar sees you approach, he kind of like tells the police officer like the enforcers to give him a second. He approaches you and he goes and kind of is speaking on kind of a lower secretive tone as he's keeping an eye on the enforcers, making sure that there's still distance between them. He goes, did you find anything?"
Yeah. I I went to the house you directed me to. When I got there, the door was bashed in, and Nicholas Jekka was paralyzed. He was on the ground. He was telling me that a revenant had attacked him, but he has no idea, well, who would have sent it. So I came to talk to you to maybe see if you had any ideas and just let you know, like, your partner was attacked.
And he kind of sits there, and you see him kind of stroke his chin. He goes, well, that's two undead attacks in short succession. One on me, and then one on, of course, Nicholas. Something's definitely awry here, but I don't know who would have attacked either of us. Um, were you able to find anything with Kel Patnell?
Not a whole lot. He it would seem that Nicholas doesn't believe that he was attacked by undead. He has and he had, like, this mark on him that Nicholas was kind of worried about, saying something like how, like, it it was, like, I think someone he taught, if I remember correctly, or but
Out
he's
of
been dead for a
Let the
while.
DM speak now. Just to clarify some details, the bite. So there, I'll fill in a little bit of knowledge gap just in case you might have forgotten. One of the bites on Kelpat Knoll had a deformed bottom jaw,
Yeah.
which was similar to a cadaver that Nicholas Jekka had prepared in his
Oh,
time working the
cadaver.
school.
Okay.
Well, retcon,
Okay.
retcon.
Yeah. Yeah, so, the cadaver had, like, this, um, misformed bite that Nicholas recognized. It was a cadaver that he worked with, but obviously the cadaver's dead. Um, so we're thinking there's some, you know, necromancy magic in play right now, but that's really all that he could tell me.
And he is trying to keep a neutral expression because the enforcers are watching him like a hawk. And he kind of like put his body kind of between you and him and the enforcers behind him. But you see that he's trying to keep just like a straight face to not allude to any sort of like hint of what the conversation's about. And he kind of sits and goes, interesting. Well, I'm gonna have enforcers swarming here for the next couple of days. They're trying to get us up. They're trying to look for some sort of story from me, but I'm trying to keep the details of this incident relatively limited. You might want to steer clear of the 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 brothel for now, until I can get these officials swarmed out of here. And so, see what other leads you can follow. But I mean, ultimately, I won't be able to report back to Emerald anytime soon. So you might have to speak to the viceroy yourself.
Right. Well, good luck with everything.
And he nods and he
And
kind
I'm
of heads
gonna
back to the enforcers, and the enforcers begin to kind of interrogate him again, and he is busy with them.
all right. Well, that kind of a bust. I'm gonna head over to, I guess, to the viceroy and let him know
Okay.
um, everything that I have seen and heard.
Perfect. So you begin to walk by, and you leave the brothel behind you, smoke and all, and head straight to the Abbotsia, the official business, the official building of Cyanidel that you're in. And so you head to the markets, head into the governing area, and are able to slip past the guards again because the guards um, aren't necessarily doing their job, and arrive at the office door of the Viceroy Emerald Radikai.
Okay. I'm going to, before I go, I'm gonna let Toll out, but this time I'm going to, um, with the purpose of finding Panic, an enforcer.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm
So you're
letting
sending
him
him
loose
after
to be
you're
able to
having him
do a
look
little
for Tannic.
recon.
I get
Yeah.
it. I dig it. I dig it.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
like, go, buddy. Go find Panic.
And so,
Okay.
in kind of a jingle and jangle because he's still dressed
Oh
in all of
yeah.
his rings and
He's
bracelets,
decked out.
he darts off. You hear him kind of like as if like someone has like coins in their pockets, runs off down the hallway and is kind of out of sight as he slips around and begins to do a little bit of recon for you. And so at this point, you are in front of Emerald's door. Is there anything else you want to do before potentially knocking?
Now I'm gonna knock.
Excellent. And you hear kind of a shifting as somebody from inside the office gets up and opens the door, and you see him kind of crack it a little bit and sees you, and immediately becomes trustworthy, opens the door and allows you to come in. Oh, please, please come in, come in.
Hello, Revisory. So I gotta say, I'm hoping you can fill in the gaps. There's been a bit of a problem. So I don't know if you've heard, but Gaytriar's brothel was attacked sometime last night. Um, and by undead, well, by no, oh hell, by ghouls. That's what they were. By
Yeah.
ghouls and shadow figures. And then when and on the walls, this is the part where it's just crazy, and I'm hoping you can
I love how you're
tell
setting this up.
me tell me what's going on there. Um, it had your name, and it said that you know too much, right? Over the table, is
Um,
that what?
let me check. Let me check. One second. One second. I wrote it down because I knew that there'd be a one second. It said Emerald Radikai knows secrets.
Emerald Radikai. Okay. Yeah, so I tell him.
Okay.
Yeah, so it said on one of the walls that Emerald Radikai knows secrets. And I mean, Do you know what secrets are they talking about? We're allies here, and your buddy almost just got killed because of the secrets that you know.
And you see him kind of when you tell him what the words on in the fire meant or said, he kind of gets a little wide-eyed and immediately kind of tries to control his response. And you see him almost kind of gel off into a very political, very like kind of stone-faced type of expression. He goes, well, I'm a member of the council. I'm a member of the city. I'm sure there's plenty of things that aren't necessarily proprietary information for the public to know. And so it really is no telling what secrets this might be referring to.
Okay, listen, there's a difference between knowing secrets and your responsibilities. Of course, you have responsibilities that come with your role, but then there's deeper secrets that you keep because you don't want to lose your position and power. And look, I'm just a girl and passing through, and I really don't give a crap about what these secrets are. I'm just trying to get my business done. And your business is keeping me from doing that. So you need to tell me before I just get myself, because this doesn't matter to me. I don't need to be here. So if there's any
Mhm.
secret that's pinging in your mind right now, you should probably let me know before you lose the one person who can help you.
And he sits there and you see him kind of working on his words a little bit, and there's cracks beginning to show in in this political kind of stone face that he's created. He goes, "Ah, I mean, there there's no telling. I wish this note would have been a little bit more specific, if we're being honest, because I mean, there's lots of things that they may be discussing, and if it has to do with Gaytriar I mean, I guess it's time that you knew that Gaytriar and I have been friends for a while now, and we were friends in school, as well as Kelpat Knoll, and I mean, we were rambunctious teenagers. I'm sure we got into something. That I mean, and I did do a decent amount of covering up when I got into office, just with some of the tomfoolery we were doing. Like there's wronging rights here and there. I mean, it was there. I mean, it could be anything. I don't know exactly what secrets it might be talking about.
Is he telling the truth?
Why don't you roll an investigation check?
Oh my heck. I was gonna argue an insight, but that one's even bad.
I guess you could. Yeah, you could do an insight or investigate. I forget what the difference is with insight and investigation.
Let me see. It says insight allows you to discern a person's mood and intentions, while investigation allows you to find obscure information in books or deduce how something works.
So I guess it would technically be like an insight, right?
Well, it doesn't matter because it was a 4.
I mean, he has spent years in the public eye. He knows how to keep details vague enough or obscure um, white lies and it's impossible to deduce whether or not he really knows anything or if he's just legal
Yeah.
speaking his way out of what you're trying to pin him under.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I gotta believe you that that's all you know. Um, but I did go see the body of your buddy Kel Patinal. Um, and when I got there, I don't know. Do you know Dr. Nicholas Jecka?
I'm not familiar with the name.
Oh, okay. Well, he's the doctor that was examining the body, the coroner, and his door was busted in, and he was paralyzed. He was attacked by a revenant, and so he doesn't know who could have sent that. I'm going to assume it's the same person who is targeting you, Gatriar, and him. So you both have a common enemy right now. Um, and and yeah, It seemed like the body was attacked by people that should be dead.
Mm.
And that's really all that we could deduce by that.
He kind of sits back and he kind of thinks to himself and goes, well, and this Dr. Nicholas had no hypotheses?
No, he's thinking that, I mean, with the people that, who attacked them that should be dead, we're thinking it could be like a necromancer who's using undead magic.
Interesting. And really, that's just the fruit of the labor, nothing else?
Really. But I did have a one question. You didn't mention Panic when you sent me to go see Gatriar. I just wanted to know, like, do you trust him? I'm assuming you do, since he's your head of Forcer. But what's the relationship there?
And he kind of he you see like an almost like another crack show, and he kind of gets a little antsy. He goes, Panic is eccentric. He is passionate about what he does. Whether he is necessarily of the right mind is a little bit harder. I chose him as my head enforcer because I will admit we were he was it was us. It was Kel, Patriarch, Panic, and I. We were good friends in school, and Panic usually was the one that got us in trouble. He had a habit of going a little too far every now and then. Um, I mean,
Are
he's
you afraid of
passionate.
him?
I
Does he scare you?
and he kind of breaks a little bit, and he no, he doesn't scare me. He simply is a passionate man who I believe can do right. And while I'm not necessarily, I thought he'd be a little better as the head enforcer. I am working to provide more funding or provide whatever it takes to for him to kind of turn around and be a responsible man of the people.
So you're just a guy given trying to give his friends some things, it seems, but I don't know. I think you're a little scared. Obviously, you would be. Your best buddy, Kel Patinal, died. Um, Obviously, he's going after your other friend, Gatriar. Who knows what's going to happen with Tanik? He's probably going to end up dead at some point. And then that leaves you without your head enforcer. Without your head enforcer, you're kind of out in the open. And then that only leaves you. So I guess, you know, I get it, you're scared. And it seems like I'm the only one who could solve your problems, but you're not really being forthcoming with me. But I guess I'll just take my leave. I'll talk to Tanik and let you think about who could possibly be coming after you. Because there's only so
Above table
many.
here, Stone Cold Killer. Damn.
Because there's only so many people who could be practicing necromantic magic. And I don't believe that you didn't hear anything about this, or else you'd be really crappy at your job. So you'd be a shit leader, honestly, if we were talking.
And his face
But,
begins to get a little red. He kind of looks down at a book and goes, it looks like I have a new appointment coming in. I'd suggest you leave.
and I'd suggest that you figure out on what side of the table you want to be on. Because over there, you're dead. And over here, at least you have a chance of living. And I'm going to
Okay.
take my leave.
Perfect. So you get up and you leave. Is there anything else you want to do before you exit the office of the Viceroy?
Yeah, does he have anything on his table?
Does he have anything on his table?
Yeah.
What is your intention? Like, are you trying to like is
Like,
this like a you're trying to see if you can get any information, or are you trying to like throw something?
no. He mentioned he mentioned I'm going to take he mentioned he had the finest wine. I'm gonna swipe it. So
Interesting.
I'm not even
Like straight in front of him?
doing,
Like
I'm doing it straight in front of him.
you
I'm just
wanna
gonna
you
take
wanna
it,
know. Okay.
yeah, and leave. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, and he really doesn't stop you at all. Like you see him kind of like, that's my, and then he just like leaves it. He's like, you know what? Let her get out. I just want her gone. And he kind of like turns in his seat and begins to kind of like write some things on a paper, official business stuff, nothing of importance to you. And you leave the office, and you're now in the hallway.
Oh. All right. I'm gonna try to tune into to Toll,
Okay,
see if he's within 100 feet of me, and to see if he found anything.
perfect. And as you begin to tune in, you feel the connection almost immediately. He's not too far away, and you begin to kind of you're trying to like see through his eyes, correct? Or are you
Yeah.
just trying to like get an idea of where he's at?
Both.
Okay. You kind of get like a mental ping that he's like kind of around the hallway and like to the right. Like it seems like all of these kind of the head officials, like the viceroy, the head enforcer, other like kind of department heads are all in the same general area, and Tanik's room is not too far away. As you Oh, I'm trying to find my notes here. As you kind of begin to, like, your vision begins to like kind of fade and be replaced by a vision from a much lower perspective, you see um, Toll inside a room, and the room is
Okay.
empty. It seems to be like as he's kind of like digging, like, and he's like kind of like head first in the office, like in a desk or like desk drawer, kind of like looking for things. Absolutely not looking for Tannic, but looking instead for his belongings.
Oh my
Uh,
heck.
but as he's kind of moving around, you get little glimpses of the area around him, and you notice Cole begins to kind of like dig into in a drawer, like scoop some things out of the drawer so they fall on the floor, and he jumps down and begins to kind of like dig through like a coin purse. But as he's digging, you see a small kind of puddle of like very like kind of almost like a few drops of blood underneath the table, and there's kind of rope fibers to be like kind of strewn around, and Cole of course does not care nor necessarily notice, but that is kind of the things you see out of his peripheral vision.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly terminate the connection, and I'm gonna run to where Toll is.
Okay. And as you kind of run down the hallway, run around the corner, you see kind of a more like decorative door than the rest of the doors around. And it says like, of course, Captain Tannic Pelt, head enforcer, and the door is kind of ajar a little bit, enough for a small dragon to slip in.
I'm gonna try to push it.
Okay. And of course, like you push open the door, and the room is empty except for what you hear Toll kind of digging around with. But as you kind of enter the room, you hear some guards kind of marching up the hallway, um, hastily.
Oh, oh crap. Oh crap. I'm going to grab Toll. When you say they're hastily coming, they're in the hallway, so if I leave, they would see me.
You can definitely try to leave, but they are close.
Okay, I'm going to try. Oh crap. I'm gonna try to hide.
You're gonna try to
I'm gonna
hide.
try to
Okay.
hide behind the door.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Come on, baby. Come on.
This might be one of the more important roles of the
I know.
of
I
the
feel like
campaign
it
so far.
is. It's. I haven't even had time to see the thing. It was a 6.
A six.
Okay. I'm not gonna roll
I
that one
mean,
anymore. Yeah.
so you kind of duck in and kind of like hide behind the door a little bit, and you hear the two guards kind of go out. Like they show up and they're on the outside of the door, like the of the office. They haven't come in yet. You hear him kind of talking like, you heard him? Like, did you hear what I was heard? Here, and he's like, yeah, it sounded like Tanik was calling for help or something. But I mean, and they kind of like peek a little bit inside the room, and you can kind of see like one of the guards' head kind of like past the threshold. You're kind of like looking at it like through like the hinge and everything through the door. He goes, you know, he doesn't like us in the room. I swear I heard him say something. And the other guard's like, whoa, I mean,
Okay.
it sounds yeah.
Keep going. Is there a window around here? Are
There'd be
there
a
any
window in like
windows?
the far side of the room. So like if you think about like entering like the office, it's like a desk, and behind the desk would be like a window to the outside.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to try to shove the door closed,
No.
run,
I mean, you doing do you. You do you.
shut the door, run, cast jump on myself while I'm running and jump out the window.
and jump out the window. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you begin to you I mean, I'm trying to think, is there any sort of like role for that? I say do like an acrobatics check just to see if you can kind
To,
of
like,
dive out
shut
the
the
window,
door and run.
shut the
Okay.
door and dive out the window.
12. That's a
Okay.
12.
So, you like, what I say is like you throw your body weight against the door and just kind of slam it closed, but the guard is still kind of in the doorway, and so like crunches like hit kind of like his helmet and everything goes, hey, hey, and you just begin to run, and you you book it, cast jump on yourself, and you dive out the window, and luckily this you're really about like 2 stories up, kind of, but like your controlled jump allows you to break through the window and sail down to the city streets below. And you hear kind of the guards bust into the door and begin to kind of run towards the window. Now, do you want to disappear? Like, do you want to like try to like hide from them potentially looking through the window, or do you want them to see you on the street below?
I don't want them to see me, so I'm trying to either I don't, hide up, like, push myself up against the body, well, push
Like on the
myself up
building, yeah.
against the wall, yeah,
Okay,
or,
do one
like,
more
duck
stealth
into
check.
an alleyway, or is there was the festival, is it still going? Are we
I mean,
around, like, a group of people?
if you're talking about like the market is still
Yeah,
inside the Avid Siep, so you've
okay,
jumped now outside, you're on the city streets. But
okay.
with the morning coming and people kind of moving around and many people heading towards the market, there is a decent crowd that you might be able to slip into, but it depends on how well you roll a
Okay,
stealth check.
I'm gonna try to slip into the crowd.
Perfect.
Oh, fucked, fucked. Oh, my hell, that was a nat 1.
A natural one?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you rolled anything above a 10 just yet. So,
Oh,
so you
you
jump
guys are
down
banished.
and, and you happen to like the city streets are full except for where you're at. Like you just happen to like break through the window and everyone kind of sees this person jumping down from the window and they all kind of like back up a little bit and almost like create like a little space around where you're at. And when you land, everyone kind of gasps like, "Oh, what's going on here?" The guard kind of poke their head out the window like, "Hey, you there, stop!" And we're gonna come down there, but you better be stopped by the time we get there. And they like, like get back into the office, but like the crowd sees who you are and they begin to kind of you
Who
start to hear
I
like whispers and kind of and talk about who like what just happened and why it's
Oh,
what's going on.
heck. Okay, so they say they're gonna I'm gonna jump back through the window.
To go back in.
Yeah.
Okay. Do
I'm
another
going I
acrobatics
mean,
check just to make sure that we get through.
I will cast jump again on myself to reach
I
the
dig it.
window. That was
Hold on, say that again.
a 9.
A 9. Okay. In that
Yeah.
case, then you are able to like you jump back up and you kind of grab onto like the windowsill and kind of hoist yourself into the window again. And the guards are gone. The door is ajar, and you're alone in the office.
Well, that was terrible. Okay, I'm going to is the door open?
The door is open. Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna close the door
Okay. All right.
and brace it with a chair.
Perfect. So you've kind of wedged a chair underneath the door. Um, the door doesn't seem to be able to be like kind of opened easily, and now you have probably a couple of moments before the guards find out what's going on there. They head back up.
Okay, I'm going to cast oh, it's in my space? Never mind. Okay. Um, okay, so I'm gonna quickly try to look around, see what the blood was coming from, and like that I saw from Toll.
Okay.
Like look to see where
Do
that is.
run a roll an investigation check.
Awesome. All right. That
You
was
you can tell me. It's okay. It's a safe space here.
that was a 4 minus 3, making it if a dirty one exists,
31.
this is the dirtiest.
Oh my goodness. So you are panicked. You are at the point. There's a lot of stuff's going on here, and you understand that you don't have a lot of time, and so you kind of dive underneath the table because you at least know that that's kind of where the clues start. And you see a couple of drops of blood, um, almost kind of in isolation with everything else. There's not like like a spew of blood or a pool of blood anywhere. It's just a couple of drops underneath the chair, surrounded by kind of r- minuscule rope fibers, as if like there was some sort of kind of rough rope tied in a knot nearby, kind of just like little like fraying ends of just like little tiny fibers. I'm talking too much about the fibers. But you are take a look. There's really no other sign of blood anywhere. The room is clean.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily look like a fight or some sort of um like skirmish happened in this room, and everything seems neat, clean, tidied. And there is, as you're kind of looking around, you begin to kind of go from the chair, from the floor to the chair to the desk, and on the desk there is one singular kind of little scroll, little note written on the table.
Is it in common? Can I read it?
It would be in common, yes, and you can read it. When you read it, it says Emerald Ratici. I have just received word from a detachment located at Stormwatch Tower of a development that needs my attention. I am unsure when I'll be back, but I trust that my department's infrastructure will remain steadfast in my absence. You will not receive any more letters from me, as I am busy with my duties at Stormwatch Tower. And then it's signed by Tannic Pelt with his official seal stamped next to the signature.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna swipe it.
Okay, you pocket
Um,
the note here.
then, well,
And right about this
okay.
time, you hear some voices.
Oh, they're
Oh, where'd
coming
they
back
go?
up.
Where'd they go? And then some people are like, they went back into the window. They went, and then you gotta get the guard's like, oh, there's like so many stairs between there and here. And then you see like the armor begin to kind of like jog away, like they're going back to the front door.
Okay, I'm gonna exit the room through the door, and I'm going to make my way back to I'm gonna make my way back to Emerald Ratici.
Okay, so you're gonna like book it through the. Okay, so you go through the hallway, head back to Immoratica's. Now, are you knocking or are you just busting in?
I'm busting in.
So as
And I
you
like I'm trying to slip in and shut the
eh,
door real quick. Yeah.
Okay. And as this happens, Emerald kind of looks and goes, "Oh, uh, you're back so soon. Was one bottle not enough?"
Oh, no, actually, your head enforcer, as I predicted, has just been kidnapped. Um, he is nowhere to be seen. And I have this note. Is this his handwriting? Also, can I tell you, your enforcers are looking for me. I didn't do anything.
Also, I'm in trouble. So can
Yeah.
you and so you can all kind of preparation when he did his little political um front before they're absent, and he kind of looks a little panicked as he kind of reaches for the note desperately, like kind of swipes it from you and begins to read it, and his eyes are kind of searching, and yeah, it's his handwriting, and this is his official seal. But I wasn't aware that we had any detachments in Stormwatch Tower. I thought that's a little far from here. I didn't think that he'd have any sort of troops over there. I thought they were all in the city.
Okay. Do you think potentially this person could have brought him to that area? No. No. Why would they take his body there if we thought, or why would they take him there if we thought we would follow? Unless they thought you would follow, and then they would have you. And any ideas? I'm just spitballing here.
And he kind of is sitting there. He's nervous, and I don't really understand. I mean, I don't think that even if he did have, would someone predict that I'd leave here to go see him, or because I feel like they would just think I'd detach more troops. I would just send an army over there.
Leaving the city open, leaving you open for attack. Okay, I think that's what they're trying to do. Okay, don't do that.
Don't do it.
Um, well, did you hear anything? Um, did you like if I overheard the guards who yes are coming for me as we speak. I heard them say that they heard him shouting. and help. Did you hear anything
I mean,
of that nature?
his room is not the closest to me, and I know he has guards close, like between me and Tanik's office. I thought I heard maybe like a little shouting, but nothing that would have like brought my attention. I mean, it is my fault. I should have checked it out if it was yelling, but I didn't. From my distance, it didn't sound like it was anything big.
Okay. All right. Um, well, is there no, I'm assuming oh, did I go? Come back, little buddy.
Were you referring to yourself as little buddy?
Yeah.
All
The
right.
video. Okay, well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the person who took Panic is either working for or is the person who attacked Gaytriar, sent a revenant to Dr. Nicholas Jekka, and is going to be coming for you next. So let me just think. Let me think here.
And you can kind of hear like the guards now running through the hallway, uh, looking for you at this point throughout the entire kind of building.
Can you deal with that? Can you tell them? Can you? They have a good day. I love you. Be safe. Um, can you tell? I okay. Let me paint you a picture here. I'm in the
Okay.
room,
Yeah, he goes, yes.
and I'm in the room of Tannic. They hear shouting. I saw blood on the ground, and I hide because I hear them coming. Because I know if they see me, they're gonna think that I attacked the guy. I jump out the window. They see me. I jump back in the window, and they're now coming for me.
You see him kind of crack a smile when he realizes you jumped back into the window.
So as you can predict, they I don't look so good right now. And maybe they have some more information. So could you maybe either even direct them here and we could have a civil conversation? Or can you tell them to get off my back?
And kind of thinks, he goes, well, um, I can definitely do what I can do, but having you here may not be the best idea. I think maybe I could speak to them if I after I kind of get you out of the building here. And you see him kind of reach into his desk, pull out like a little ring, and he slips the ring on and does a kind of like a little like gesture in the air while saying the verbal component of dimension door, and kind of a little like little circular kind of portal opens up to the street below, but kind of a
Oh,
into like one of the alleyways that are like kind of further away from the Abbot Siap. He goes, take this, steer clear of the Abbot Siap for now, until I can maybe get some word saying that I've covered your tracks or spoken to somebody.
kind of like a little Doctor Strange moment.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, but I'm not saying it's a Doctor Strange, but maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, thought the Emerald Viceroy would have more power, but I'm gonna walk through the portal.
Sure. And you are gone, and he closes the portal in kind of a huff because he's sick and tired of you freaking disrespecting him every time you walk into his office. And you are now on the streets of the Cyanida.
All right. Well, I just got banished from the place that had all the info. All right. I'm gonna look around. Do I recognize like the alleyway? Is it where he was attacked? Is it near Gatriar's place?
It is not an alleyway that you recognize. It just seems to be some random alleyway, and there's plenty of them to go around.
Okay. Does it seem like a random one, or does it seem like this alley is one that like
He
I'm
uses
trying to see
frequently.
if he uses frequently. Yeah.
Okay. It is out of the way. There really isn't like too much evidence that it's a frequently used um alleyway, I guess. Um, but
Yeah.
it's there's not really telling that it's actually like consistently used alleyway that he uses as like a back door.
Okay. Can I hear any sounds? Any anything when I enter?
Yeah, besides the kind of just chatter of the street behind you, there's nothing really in this alleyway. It just seems like a basic, boring alleyway,
All right.
but far enough
Well,
away
I'm
from
gonna
the building that the guards can't see you.
okay. I'm gonna pick a direction and I'm gonna go.
Excellent.
I'm just gonna
Now,
start walking.
now I understand that you're saying that the Avid Seep has a lot of the information. You have been given permission to look at the Celutars library, and Nicholas Jekka was talking about how you might be able to get more information about necromancers if you head to the school's library. Now, going to the school's library while there's probably an active kidnapping seems a little um like not necessarily heeding the emergency of the moment, but that is a lead that you have not gone down yet.
Oh, okay. That's true. Well, for some reason, I thought that was my repayment after I I did everything, but
I
that
got you.
seems good
No,
enough.
he's giving
I will
you
head that way.
the viceroy is giving you permission while in hopes that perhaps during the investigation you can find some information in the library. So you're more than welcome to head to the library. And you after kind of it's not you don't necessarily need directions because there's two large buildings in the Cyanidel. It's the Avid Seat that you just went to, and there's the School of Salutar, which is not too far away because they like to keep all the big buildings kind of close. Um, and so you don't necessarily need to ask for directions. You just look at the building that's the tallest and you kind of walk that direction. And after taking a couple of rights and lefts, finally getting to the front doors of the Cellutar, um, you navigate to the Cellutar's library, where it's a absolutely gigantic building with high ceilings, plenty of bookshelves. It's a three-story library with tables and sectionals and everything that you need to kind of get a any sort of kind of studying and really any topic covered in the situation. And as you kind of step in, there is a man behind the kind of the front counter, and he looks and goes, "Oh, can I help you at all?"
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, this is my first time here. Could you break down like the different sections of the library that you have, like nonfiction, fiction, alchemy, like what's the layout?
He goes, "Oh, yes, yes. Well, there's plenty of different things that you can do here. Plenty of different subjects to cover. We keep all of our, if you're looking for fiction, we keep all of our fiction on the highest level. It's our smallest section, I will be honest, because this is an academic library and we prefer our nonfiction. But if you're looking for different sorts of topics, you can definitely actually use one of these guide stones. And he kind of has like a kind of bucket or basket full of stones with kind of engravings on them. Because you just hold it in your palm, think of the topic that you wish to cover, and it will grow warmer as you approach the correct area.
Oh, sweet. Okay, well, thank you so much. I grabbed one. And
Excellent.
oh, I think that's all that I need from you. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna head up. And while I'm going, I am also thinking of what Toll found while he was digging around in the desk. And I
Yeah.
take a gander to see what he
What
found.
he might have gotten.
Yeah, maybe
He
if it's helpful, if it's not.
As you're
Look
kind
in
of
my
walking,
pocket.
you kind of like hold Cole in your hand, and he smiles, and there's coins held in his mouth, maybe like three or four like gold coins and everything, um, that he's been kind of covering with like the little. I guess like dragons really don't have like lip, but like he's been kind of holding it in his mouth where you can't necessarily see that he has the gold coins, and there is a kind of a ruby ring on his like back leg, so he's adding to his little golden armor.
Nice, bud. Which
Now,
well,
with
I
this,
would have wished it was better, but there.
you're like, I'm a little disappointed with the loot that you pulled from
Yeah,
this
kind of hoping
kidnapped
it would
man.
have. Yeah. Thought it would lead
Um,
us to a direction, but no.
yeah, and
Okay.
ultimately, there is probably. I'll back up. Where are you going with the guide stone?
I'm kind of just entering further into the building. And then I'm going to try to think of like of um of magic and of necromancy magic. I'm gonna see if potentially if there's anything there while I'm thinking of that.
And so you begin to think of necromancy magic while you are holding this guide stone. And at first, kind of
But
the temperature begins to, oh yeah,
I am so sorry. I need to go to the bathroom so bad.
no worries. No, we'll
Can
pause
we
it. One
like
second.
pause it real quick? I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'll be so
we'll
quick.
pause.
I've been like holding it.
No worries. All right. And we are pausing now. All right, and we are back here. You are in the library still. You're taking a look, and ultimately you were looking for necromancy dark magic. Is that correct?
Yes. I don't know if I'm going to obviously I don't think it will be, for the public.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to be making my way around while thinking that. And then try to find by looking around seeing if there's any like I'm thinking like Harry Potter, like if there's a restricted area.
Restricted area.
Yeah.
Okay. You begin to kind of wander around, and once you kind of think the thoughts of necromancy dark magic restricted section, the stone becomes kind of cools to the touch, where it's almost like kind of like cold in your hands. And as you're kind of walking and moving around in certain directions, you feel like it kind of warm up, like just slightly, like an internal warmth in the palm of your hands. And so you're
There's
able to
no
kind of,
way it's that easy. Like, okay, that's what I'm thinking. Like, man,
yeah,
first the guards, they just let me in. And
yeah,
second, you actively can think that and there's no safeguard. I
the
can literally
safeguard.
anybody can find it. All right. Well,
And
okay, I
um,
just keep going with it. Their misfortune is my fortune, I
Y-
guess.
and you are kind of turning and walking as and kind of just following this kind of a hot cold stone in your hand, and but eventually you're being like wound around the library until eventually you look up and you're back at the front desk in front of the librarian. He goes, oh, is there anything I can help you find? It looks like the stone wasn't able to help you with the section you were looking for.
Oh, yeah. No worries. I guess you just don't have the newest album of Hail Pippin, but I can look for something else.
And he look, music isn't necessarily our forte, but perhaps there's a topic you're looking for.
Yeah, I guess you could help me. I'm an aspiring wizard. And I'm looking for like, any books that could help me with magic or pick a class or a subclass, just trying to I really don't know which way I want to go with it. So if you had anything in that regard.
You kind of think so, well, I mean, majority of this library is full of magic, books of tomes and scrolls. Perhaps you're looking for more of a history on magic. I guess I'm unsure exactly.
Sure.
If you were
Yeah.
if you were to tell me the exact topic you're looking for, perhaps I could maybe assist you further. But you're more than welcome just to kind of peruse the library and see what you're looking for.
Thank you so much. Okay. I'm gonna go. Now I'm
And he kind
gonna
of calls out
now
to you a little bit as you're walking away and goes, "Well, I
uh,
mean, if perhaps I apologize. I wasn't as helpful as I wish I was. But there is another student in the library. She's usually here pretty early. She knows her way, I'd almost say, around this library better than I do. And you could maybe check her out."
okay. Yeah. Do I just think of her and head that
No,
way,
you
or
just
can you
she's
put
over there at the
Oh.
table.
Oh, it's not like that. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
and and you begin to kind of walk over in the direction of where he pointed, and there's a woman sitting down at a kind of in the center of the library, there's a lack of bookshelves and instead like tons and tons of tables and chairs to sit at to review the books that you pull from the bookshelves. And sitting, taking up one of the almost entire long tables there is a woman with long, kind of curly brown hair who is actively just like digging through books, like just reading and open. He has like three or four books open, and she's kind of comparing notes and it's just an absolute kind of flurry of academic research at the heart of
Okay.
the library, and it's just kind of very busy.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over and like put my head like, hello?
And when you do, she looks over at you and like and screams in terror, like out of absolute shock and everything. And she like throws her hands up in the air, books go flying, and she absolutely shrieks at the sudden sight of not necessarily you, but the fact that you came up and
Yeah.
she was so focused, and her books go everywhere. And she goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
You
no,
scared the
you're good.
living daylights
I'm
out of me."
sorry. I'm sorry. No, I I don't even know why I did that. No, you're good. I'm sorry.
And you see her kind of dive off her chair, and she begins to kind of pick up books off of the
Oh,
floor
I'm gonna
as
help
she is
her.
okay. And as you are picking up the books off the floor, you see a couple of titles that are that kind of stand out to you. Do you want? Are you being nosy? Do you want to look at the what book she's looking at, or do you just want to like close your eyes, put the books on the table, and call it good?
Why would I close my eyes while I'm helping her pick it up? Of course I'm
Well, I'm just
looking.
saying,
No.
ignoring the yeah. I'm just seeing if you want to invade this woman's privacy. You begin to take a look, and you can actually see that these books are dragon related. There is a book, An Empire of Fire and Scale, A History of the Crimson King's Reign, chromatic, metallic, and everything in between, which is kind of a detailing of dragons of all kinds. And there's also The Sailor's Guide to Solikela Faerun, and
Oh,
this title actually stands out to you because you recognize the author. The author is Nolan Murphy, your very own father.
oh my heck. All right. Oh, why did I just get emotional? I'm gonna um I'm gonna take it, and I think, yeah, I'm just remembering my dad, and
Oh
yeah,
no,
and how like
I didn't mean to get you that
you
emotional. We haven't even done the
did.
emotional part yet.
See, I don't know. I knew it was coming. I didn't expect it now. Um, I'm just thinking of my dad and how like he wrote this while I was on the boat as well, and like stories he would tell me, and so I take it and I look at her and I'm like, um, what made you interested in this book?
And she begins to see you. If I dare assume that your character becomes a little more emotional,
Yes,
and she
yes.
sees you kind of react to the book, and she kind of like doesn't know if she should like take the book from you and like save you from the emotional response, or if she should just kind of let you handle it on your own terms. She goes, "Oh, I just I'm relatively new to the island, and I saw the sailor's guide, and I figured if anyone knows an island, it's a sailor, and I'm sorry, I didn't think that the book be elicit that type of response. I can take the book back if
Oh, no, it's this is actually my father's book. He wrote this. Um, and really the only copies I thought that were around were the ones that are scattered around at home. So sorry, he just took me by surprise that someone else would be reading these stories.
and she kind of like, oh no, it's very well written, and I mean, you should find it a delight that your father's books are in the library of Selutar. So I mean, I I you want to read it? I mean, do you do you want it?
I'll definitely, if you're not opposed, I'll definitely take it. These are some of the only things I have left of him. Um, but I'm sorry, I shouldn't be dumping on you, but I did have questions. Um, if if you would oblige.
Go ahead.
The person at the front desk, he he told me that you know this library better than he could possibly do. And I also see that you're looking at dragons. Um, have you found anything revolving things that could break a bind on a dragon by chance?
And
Maybe.
as you're actually talking about binds and like breaking free a dragon, I realize we need maybe I need to change talking about binding dragons to
Well, they're
yeah, it
like
sounds a
stakes, right?
yeah,
But he's
there's
bound.
stakes, but I mean, it still sounds weird when there's not a lot of context. But when but when she hears you talking about binding dragons, her eyes kind of like light up a little bit. She goes, well, first off, Layeth is far too kind. I do not know the library better than he does. He's worked as a professor in this library for in this school for about 30 or 40 years now. But when it comes to dragons, that's actually I'm thinking you're talking about the legend of Trident.
I didn't realize she became so popular. But yes, that is exactly who I'm talking
And
about.
and she kind of is she goes, oh well, I've heard that I've heard stories about that dragon and the binds that bind her the binds that bind her the 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 ropes and chains that bind her to bind her power and prevent her from ever leaving her prison. I've heard that she's far too dangerous of a dragon to be released, and a council of dragons even ordered her to be anchored to the ocean floor. Oh, it's absolutely incredible stuff. It's all in this book here, and she kind of points to the Empire of Fire and Scale, the history of the Crimson King's reign.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and I've heard too that the only thing that could release her from her binds are these magical stakes that you need to collect. But have you heard anything within that nature?
She kind of looks, she
I'm
goes, that
trying
is
to.
true. I mean, the anchors are definitely the crux of her captivity, but I mean, you have to destroy those anchors, and I've heard that the Council of Dragons buried those anchors underneath mountains. I don't think anyone's ever getting to them.
All right. Well, are you still using it? Is it okay if I take a gander at that book?
And she kind of looks at, I mean, I've written my notes, my fair share. You can take a look at the book too. And she kind of piles. It's a thicker book than the Sailor's Guide to Soli Califaroon, but she puts it into your hands nonetheless, and was okay with you taking the book.
All right. And another thing. So he said you're a student. Where do you study? I'm assuming here, actually.
Uh,
This is a school, right?
this is cool. I do
Yeah.
study here, but if you're asking like the topics that I study, it's kind of on the reign of archaeology slash dragon studies.
Oh, that's very cool. You just you like dragons? Is that what I'm going? If
I
I
to
can
like them
assume?
is a little bit of an understatement. I kind of obsess over them a little bit, but I mean they're just so interesting and they're so powerful and almighty. You know, I barely could stay away. I could hardly help myself.
I wouldn't I wouldn't say they're powerful, if I mean, if you look at I mean, if they were so powerful, they wouldn't have been captured, like
I
I think
I
I
but the people that captured the dragon were also dragons too. So I mean,
all right. Yeah, we could agree. Yeah, yeah, you have your points. What was I gonna I lost my train of thought. Anyway, yeah, I could say that I have my personal feelings about dragons. And I know quite a lot too. Um, but, but I do have a little secret. Um, I'm gonna take Toll out.
oh yeah, okay.
I'm gonna show her Toll.
And she is gonna like absolutely she shrieks again, but this time in pure joy. And she's like, "Oh my goodness, the dragon! You have a dragon right here!" And she kind of like holds her hands out like she wants to hold Toll. And she's like, may I?"
I'm gonna say, is that okay, buddy? Did she hold you?
And you see Toll react negatively towards this woman, and he kind of like almost like curls up,
Oh.
and if a like a pseudo dragon could hiss, he kind of like hisses and everything. And she kind of like pulls her hand back. She's like, "Oh, I mean, it was my fault. I shouldn't just be asking to hold your dragon."
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. He's usually really friendly. I'm sorry about that. It's cool. I'm gonna set him back into my pockets. Um, but okay, so you like dragons. I'm actually trying to find more information about magic, um, and and kind of like the dark end of magic. Not I don't know if you've heard like it just seems like there's been some crazy stuff happening around here. Um,
Crazy stuff. I haven't heard of any kind of sort of crazy stuff around. Yeah, I
you
mean,
haven't
what's
heard
happening?
you haven't heard that Kel Pattonol was killed?
Yeah, but I
There's
thought
a
he was killed by just regular means, like it was a natural death.
well, I have I'm like looking to the side. Well, well, I have my theories. I believe that this is all just a cover up. Um, and I think
Nice,
that
nice take. Above the table, nice take.
I think someone killed killed Pattonal, and the and that the viceroy is just trying to keep us from a panic. So I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this.
and she kind of smiles like slyly. She goes, "Oh, a conspiracist, huh? You're looking into some darker magic. You're thinking like necromancy."
Yeah, I didn't want to say it out loud, but yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
And she kind of thinks, she goes, "Okay, well, I mean, naturally, this school doesn't really have the more restricted types of magic as easily available. But there is a spot that kind of talks about some necromancy here and there, and it's on the second floor. And I mean, if you're, I mean, I can lead you there if you need me to."
Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, and I'm so sorry. I'm Murphy. Oh, sorry. I'm Marlow, by the way. What's your
And
name?
and she holds out her hand. She shakes your hand. And she goes, "My name is Lark Bira."
Dita like? Dita like?
Dita like Dita, Dita Lark.
Dita Lark. Sheesh, Nathan. All right.
I don't make him easy. Dita Lark
You
Bira.
don't.
And she
You
goes, "But you
really
can call me
don't.
Dita."
Dita. Hi, Dita like? Cool.
I'll write it down for you somewhere. Don't you worry.
Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure get to know you. I haven't met anyone else that really has an affinity for dragons as I do, and has appreciated my father's works. So
And
yeah,
she
thank you.
and she kind of go, well, he makes it easy. It's a very good book. And she takes you kind of up a set of stairs to the second floor. So the first floor has bookcases outlining the outsides of the library, with a couple of kind of bookcases a little further in to provide more kind of real estate for books. But the first floor's main kind of center of the floor is covered in tables and chairs and places to study. Now the second floor acts as kind of like almost like an extending balcony around the first floor. And so the center of the second floor is empty and allows you to look down on the first floor. But the outsides of the walls and um, wherever you can
Okay.
is filled with bookshelves as well. And so she kind of takes you around to one of the bookcases. She's kind of inspecting here and there, trying to kind of figure out, kind of get her bearings there, because there's a lot of books to cover. And she finally gets to kind of a one bookshelf in particular. She goes, "Well, this one is about as close as you are going to get." And you can kind of just take a look at these bookshelves to see if there's anything that comes up.
Okay, cool. Um, Indeed, but before you go back to your studies, um, I would really like to talk some more about the dragons with you. Maybe we can share our knowledge with each other. Is there you're here every morning, or is there a
We make a
better
habit of
place to
it.
find you? Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. I'll get to it. Thank you for showing me around.
And you enjoy those books. And she kind of then skips away back down the stairs and over to where the rest of her books are.
All right. Okay, so I'm looking around. I'm looking for necromancy magic.
Okay,
I'm skimming the books.
perfect. And you begin to take kind of do an investigation check to see what you can find, and tell me what exactly, like either like topics or kind of um, information you're looking for. What keywords are you looking for as you are taking a look at the bookshelf?
Um, well, that was a 7. I'm I'm looking for like ghouls or the undead or revenants
Okay.
or yeah.
Okay. And you begin
And
to,
also out of
yeah,
curiosity, just looking to see if any sick bastard is out there and is making romantic fanfic of these creatures.
first, first priority is information about these creatures. Second priority is seeing if anyone's written weird stuff about them. Excellent.
Yes.
In that case, then, you begin to kind of skim through the book titles here. You eventually come across maybe a book that's called like the many forms of devilish practice. And it's kind of, and as you kind of take a look, it goes into small detail about the history of some kind of notable necromancers that have terrorized the people of the past, and what type of really um, the type of creatures that they would use, or like the type of like maybe beings that they'd conjure in their kind of moments of tirade. And so you do see a kind of little bit of mention of like zombies and ghouls and revenants and other things kind of like bigger ones like zombie ogres or just kind of really any sort of like spirit that's troubled that you can find that really necromancers prey on kind of a sense of like death and like the life essence that comes across the dying of something, and they can usually either soak it up. It's easier to do in a place where there's lots of death, like a graveyard or like a battlefield, and so and but you still can find sources kind of just in the regular, that's like with death of like, I mean, if you really want to get into like the death of like bacteria or the death of like plants nearby, like you can find little sources of death every now and then, but um, they usually gravitate towards graveyards. The necromancers usually gravitate towards graveyards or other places of mass casualties.
Okay. Um, all right. So with that in mind, I'm thinking I gotta find a graveyard. Um, or maybe with that, I'm also going to try to find the history section to see if there's any like past battles on this island, Cyanidal Del, to see like I don't know. I'm not from here, so maybe there's
Mhm.
a huge battle that I'm not aware of or a monument dedicated to that specific area.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you head over to the history section. You're able to
Also,
find.
before we
Oh yes,
go, was there any
is there any fan fiction?
any any
Um,
books of that
no,
nature?
there was
Oh,
no fan fiction per se. It wouldn't necessarily be located in the official library of and also technically that'd be in the fiction section, and so you'd have to go up
right.
one floor
Uh,
for the fiction, unless you.
For all we hope, it's in the fiction
We
area.
hope it's in the
But
fiction
yes.
section. But yes, and um. Yeah, that's all I want to add on that topic. But you head over to the history section, and there are plenty of books with the history of Soli Califaerun. Um, and you're able to kind of deduce that the island is relatively new, or at least like really, if you think about like the civilizations on the
Mhm.
Alatoa archipelago that you're at, um, while there is plenty of history to be seen, um, you know well enough from the stories that your father would tell as a sailor, that at one point all of the islands in the Alatua archipelago were one island, and there was a type of people called the common ancestor that used to live on this island. However, there was a shattering of the island back when the gods were kind of born almost, and that split the island into pieces. And most of the information, most of the history before the split of the island is lost, and so the actual history of Soli Califaerun only exists for about maybe like 1,000 years, and in that
Okay.
1,000 years, um, really the modern king, the king that you see, really his father was like the first kind of king of Soli Califaerun, and I mean, elves live for a decently long time. They've been able to keep a very peaceful and coherent. I don't know if coherent is the right word, but a peaceful reign over the island, and there hasn't been any wars on Soli Califaerun.
All right. Okay. So with that, I'm going to head to the front desk, check out the the book of um my father's, and then also of Trident, a storybook of that. And then I'm gonna
Perfect,
leave.
excellent. So you head back up with Layeth, and the main librarian kind of sees the two books and goes, "Oh, well, it looks like she was able to help you out with with something."
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, just these two books.
Perfect. And he kind of takes a look, and he grabs first the oh, where is he grabs an Empire of Fire and Scale, a history of the Crimson King's reign, and he kind of like does a little like scribing and everything to like to write that you have the book and everything. He asks for your name and information and everything, and he gives you the book. And then he grabs the Sailor's Guide to Holy Califair and goes, "Oh, this isn't one of our books, so you can. I mean, I can't necessarily check it out."
Oh, that's weird. Um, She said she got it from here, but I must have mistaken.
And he
Oh,
kind of
thank
he
you.
goes, he takes the Empire of Iron scale and he shows you on the spine where it says School of Celiotar at the bottom. He goes, no, this one's one of ours. I mean,
Mhm.
it has our stamp on there. But he shows you the spine of the Sailor's Guide, and there's
Oh
no such
no.
sign there. And he goes, no, this one just doesn't have anything. So I mean, you're more than welcome to take it. And if it is a personal book of Dita's, I'm sure that she's more than willing to let you take it if she's already kind of given you permission. But I won't write anything down.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you. I'm gonna leave. As I'm leaving, I don't know, I'm gonna thumb through it, see if like there's a tracking device or like
Through
see if
the
I
Sailor's
can
Guide.
yeah, and see if like I can sense any magic within it. Like if
Hmm.
she's first a physical, kind of like an air tag, whatever favorite type of air tag.
High fantasy inversion of a hair
Yes.
tag.
And then second to see if she like enchanted it with a magical device.
Okay. Do either an investigation check or an arcana check.
Yeah, I was saying all of that and realized my stats suck. My skills. Okay, let's see.
I don't want to sound rude when I say this, but what are you good at? What is your character?
Dude, I don't know. Okay,
Well, let me take a look at your
deception,
character sheet. Oh, deception. Oh, so
intimidation.
I mean, you have a good charisma then. I'm taking a look here.
Oh
You
yeah,
have a
because
very
I'm a
good,
warlock, so
yeah,
it
and
performance,
dexterity.
persuasion. s- Yeah,
Okay, all
yeah.
right, that's good to know.
I have yet to intimidate or really anybody. All right, let's see.
Intimidate anybody. And I see you double check and triple check the math just to see what type
How's a
of
negative
number you get.
one?
A negative one.
Yes, if we could go negative, it's a negative one.
So you begin to kind of thumb through the book. You're kind of like taking a look at like kind of the book. You even like take it upside down, like kind of shake it, like so like the page kind of flip around. And while you do that, there's almost kind of something slips from the back cover of the book, and a note falls down and lands on the floor.
I'm gonna pick it up.
I just want to see if you want to leave alone. But you open the note, and it is a note written in your father's handwriting.
Oh my heck.
And now, if you have to go off camera, I completely understand. But if you read the note, it says, "To my young Marlow, I am a fearful man. Fear has always driven me. I've been afraid of the sea my entire life. Dark depths haunted me for 20 years, and I vowed to never set foot on a rickety boat for as long as I live. That all changed when you were born. We were poor and we were desperate, and my fear of starving my wife and infant daughter grew stronger than my fear of the open water. But the tide is a trickster, and for a moment I was lost at sea. I remember drowning. It's like a bad dream that stalks me beside my nightstand. I remember thinking of my family and the legacy that I wouldn't get to leave. I thought about you, Marlowe, and the woman I would not be able to protect. I'm a fearful man, and my fear of never seeing you again led me to make that pact. The voice echoed inside my corpse with a sensation I'll never forget. I begged for release and signed on the dotted line before I even had heard the terms. Sometimes I wonder if I would have done it differently if I had a modicum of dignity, if I had not been such a fearful man. But watching you patter along the deck sets my heart at ease, and I've seen who you are, even in your infancy. I think the cruel waters that you didn't inherit any of my fear, which means I know that when my time is up and Trident recalls me back to her depths, you will be the first to take up my reins. I've instructed your mother to take my stead, but I know that there will be no stopping you. So to that, I wish you all the luck the islands have to give. Trident's burden is not one that I will complete by my own power. Instead, um, I have devoted my time she has given me to chart the islands and track down the anchors, so that you may visit them and destroy them in my place. There is one on Soli Califaroon, I'm sure of it. Trident, the spiteful bitch, should be grateful that her hatred is palpable, as it can be sensed even here on the surface. I have not found it, but I promise that I will do everything in my power to give you the map. It's the only thing I can truly give you after my time is up. Say hello to that scaly ballsack with wings for me, and travel with the Godspeed, my Marlowe. And then he said, signed Nolan Murphy.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And along with the note
oh,
is
father.
a crude map of Solikala Faerun with some little areas of like kind of like circling areas of where he believes
Mm.
the anchors might be.
Okay.
One of the
Uh,
circles being around Stormwatch Tower.
All right. Okay, and that's where they said Tannic was being taken.
And it's almost like everything's
Okay.
coming together. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. Hey, I look at it and I'm assuming this is a new note. I've never seen this note.
Yeah, you've never seen that note before.
Okay. Well, part of me, I'm like tearful and seeing my father's handwriting and hearing him, and also part of me is like, how? Like, how is it here? Why did she have this? Um, but I'll deal with all of that later. I'm going to put the note in the book and feel like, yeah, this is, I've been fated to be here, and it's obvious that I have one direction, and that is to go towards the Stormwatch Towers, where my not only Tannic is, but my father thinks a lead is to free me from this pact.
Perfect. So, in that case, then, are you headed towards Stormwatch Towers? Even before necessarily like kind of clearing it? Are you, I mean, it sounds like Stormwatch Towers is where you want to be. Do you want to tell anyone you're going there? Like Emerald, who might be invested in Stormwatch Towers, or are you just gonna go?
I'm just gonna go
I dig it. Okay. In that case,
because,
then,
yeah,
yeah,
just
there you go.
because it's not just his and his. I'm not just doing it for him. I'm I'm more so doing it for me. So he has no purpose of that. So I'm
This
just
has
gonna go.
no nothing to even to do with Emerald Radica.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If, uh,
No, what else are you gonna add? Unless you're
oh no, that was it.
okay, that was it. Okay. In that case, then, that is where we're going to stop for today's session. And you are on your way to Stormwatch Towers. And we will pick up at Storm, or we'll pick up next time. And we'll call
Okay,
it good.
nice.
Perfect. Well, in that case, then, I got to pull up my scripts real quick. Um, oh, wait, do I not have any? Okay, okay, actually, no, you have some outros. So why don't you do one of your little outros?
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a heck of a ride so far. But honestly, oh shoot. But
Then I got
honestly,
to pull up your script.
yeah. Honestly, let's just hope that I roll better during clinicals than I rolled during the stream. As you guys could tell, I did not roll all that great, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. We will be streaming next week, Monday, at 6:30 Mountain Time this time around. So be sure to be sure to watch.
Excellent. In that case, then, thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.